Yes, indeed. It looks like we might be live once again. The Live Drive Jive Archive with your host, Frank Monday, coming at you Monday through Friday. The morning grind edition here in Twilight Zone, OP King, Central Kingdom of that ever undulating, dynamic mystic dragon in flight. Free gift from God, you caught me. All right. Good looking out, man. I saw your comment there. I've seen all your comments, I believe, if YouTube's not hiding them from me. But I saw one of your comments where you said you'd been looking to catch me live on the Drive Jive archive. And here we are. Whoa, this fucking street sweeper's out in the middle of the morning traffic. That's not smart. This guy's not smart. That guy's not smart. Just get on up out the way. Bitch said, get on up out the way. I said, move your big old fat ass out my way, bitch. Because I'm coming through and I'm moving and I'm grooving and I'm jamming to the tune of get on up out the way. Bitch said, get on up out the way. How's it going, man? Long time no see. Hope you've been doing well. Frank out in Jersey. A lot of good looking, sexy people out in the ideas room this morning. I almost said this evening, but good afternoon, good evening, good day. Yeah, I can't look at the chat too much because I'm on the highway and I'm puffing on a JP Farrell and I got a hot tamale in my pocket. Let me get rid of that motherfucker so we can have a conversation without being interrupted with a nicotine addiction, right? Come on, man. Fortify yourself with nicotine and caffeine and hit the road. You met a Chinese guy today. All right. Did you say ni hao ma? I can teach you all the Chinese you need to know, man, especially if he's a northerner. If he's a mainland Chinese, I can give you the the old Peking dialect that will titillate and stimulate and excite him like none other. He'll be like, "Damn, sounds like you're from the inner city, brother. What's up, brother from another mother?" Yeah, I know Chinese, man. That's my ticket. That's my rice ticket to whatever I'm looking for, I guess. I don't know. I'm looking for a little bit of everything, right? Ah, it is a Scorpion moon, right? We just came out of the new moon. We're past the nadir, right? We're headed straight towards the abodes of the future, which is going to include a brilliant full moon in the next couple of weeks. I That's the 10th moon. I don't know where he was from, but he couldn't understand anything. Yeah. He can understand this. That's one. That's two, right? And that's three. You can give him a little one, two, three, a little un, deux, trois. It baffles me to no end how people wander into foreign countries without even a little bit of effort in learning to say things like hello and goodbye and how do you say and can you repeat that and just like the basics, get yourself what would be back in the day a 50-cent phrase book and study it. But maybe he's not even educated in his own language. I find that a lot of times too. I've been here, so long that I, I'm uh, I'm I've been in China longer than all of the kids graduating from high school this year, right? And I'll meet certain individuals in society, and he's an older guy. Yeah, sometimes it's harder for older guys, but I'll meet folks sometimes in society that I can't understand them, and um, someone will look over at me and they'll say, "Yeah, don't worry about it. You speak better Chinese than him, obviously, right?" There's a lot of dialects here. There's documented that are recognized. There's 56 ethnic minorities. I mean, the country's 90% what's called Hanzu, the Han race of people that are basically like mixed descendants of Genghis Khan and Chen Shi Huang, which were a couple of big time chauvinists, keeping thousands of wives and knocking them all up multiple times, dozens of times in their lifetime. So if you've got 1,200 wives and you knock all of them up 10 times in their life, then that gives you 10,000 descendants, right? And those 10,000 descendants are all going to have 10,000 descendants. And so you've just populated the country in 2 generations. So it's not hard to do, and it's not hard to fathom that 1 in 200 people alive today have DNA from Genghis Khan, because that motherfucker was busy. You know, he would knock up, he said it was estimated that he knocked up between 200 and 500 women every year for 50 years, right? So he was not sparing the change on that one. He was laying down the law, laying down the DNA, the reverberation that will last throughout time. And I have no idea how I wandered off into that rabbit hole. But here we are on the live drive jive. Quick channel update. Make sure you check me out on www. Wait, I got stuck. Just fucking with y'all. You guys know the website. It's buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And yeah, I'll be able to check it out one day. I still haven't been able to get the laptop VPN working again. Somehow the little cell phone VPN has broken through, which is cool, man. It's refreshing to be able to do live streams again and talk to everyone and say hi and tune in and see Frank Monday out there in Happy Land. Day 90 for the 100-day magical challenge, if you're keeping up with it. So there's 10 days left, man. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a little something about magic. Let's get a 1-sentence definition of magic. We'll borrow from Israel Regardi, Master Fabian, Poke Runyon, and Edward Wyatt in a 1-sentence definition of magic. Magic is the attentive, intelligent application of one's willpower, and concentrated focus in a gentle, in a thoughtful, mindful way to tip the scales in your favor while observing the pendulum of life and the cosmos to actuate a beneficial and productive outcome so that you're fortified, empowered, and strengthened to achieve communication with the highest divine source of the transmission of the subtle law throughout the cosmos. Wow, there was even a little Nihua Ching in there. There was a bunch of rubbish on the road just now, and everybody was swerving around it and getting on up out the way. And it was like a bag of concrete sitting right in the middle of the highway, and I was headed straight at it. But luckily, I was articulating a 1-sentence definition for magic, and as a result, I'm always paying careful attention going on around me. Situational awareness is important for the magician. Magical challenge, get into your head, man. Yeah, is that what happened? I don't know, man. I got lost down the rabbit hole, down the first swirlings. Let's see if we can. Woo! This guy is okay. Everybody's locking into AI traffic now. Whew! And it's only six and a dime. It's only a dime after the hour, but they're already grinding gears and hitting brakes. Fascinating. Oh well, let's see what the problem is. There's a bevy of buses, a trio of triangle heads, and a single industrial vehicle causing a nightmare for everyone. Yeah, well, that figures. It's always that one guy. You know, he's probably been driving all night, halfway across the nation, and just wants to feed his family. And being a long haul trucker ain't gonna pay the bills, man. Let me tell you. Not only that, it's an infuriating, thankless job. All right. We found a little opening there as he got his little happy ass out the way. And now we are headed straight into the abodes of the future once again. Frank Monday coming at you. Try and check the chat. Hey, looks like Miss Mary Moon has tuned in for the Scorpion new moon. Mary, how the hell are you? What else is going on? Are you looking forward to the torrid meteor shower coming up here in today? I think it starts today. It is the 90th day of the 100-day challenge. Isn't it interesting that the 100-day challenge, the 100th day, is going to be right at the apex, the absolute acme of shower of the year, and probably the apex of the last 300 years. It's the Palladian meteor shower coming straight out of Taurus. And we're going to be going through it starting, I believe, today. I'll check the watch again. Yes, today the Earth's sphere will start encountering the very first swirlings of the meteors raining in. And I believe it lasts for 2 weeks, a little longer than 2 weeks. And its apex is on All Hallows Day, November 1st. So they call them the Halloween fireballs. And as we passed through the torrid meteor shower, the Palladian meteor shower, as some call it, they say that it's been going on for 25,000 years at least. Who knows? Those types of calculations are um, six one way and half a dozen the other. So there's no accounting for what accountants get up to in their books and ruminations. But I think I trust astrologers more than I trust accountants. If my wife were an astrologer rather than an accountant, I might be doing better in life, right? Um, Happy Halloween, man. That's what it's all about. They say, wow, they've got the gates locked off. And let me see here. I got to pay the toll, guys. So let's see if we stay connected. I will see you in 1 minute. Stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. The vile old odious troll. The vile old odious troll who guards the bridge demanded a copper coin from old Sir Francis's burgeoning purse. With its warded hooked nose, it crawled out from under the bridge, rattling the skulls of those who would not pay. And its fulsome, dank breath reeked of the decaying corpses of his last feast. And with an ominous, booming voice, like a bitch sow pig in heat rutting with her bull, he uttered out those dreaded words. Frank Monday, pay your pound of flesh. Least I what? Stuff you into my cook pot and not let you pass the bridge. Yeah, so I paid up. And are we back? Give me a yo if we're back in Happy Land. Miss Mary Moon is out in the chat. Hello. Good to see you again. Dear, I hope you're doing well. I got home last night and my wife didn't have any dinner ready. And I was like, the one fucking job You got one job, kiddo. I'm out 14, 15 hours a day. You got one job. Have a hot meal ready when I get home. Fucking 8:30 at night. Jesus Christ. He's like, oh, I'll just throw something together. I said, no, you won't. You're fired. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, just kidding. My son's like, oh, mommy's been busy all day. She's been working. So my son took the day off and they hung around the house and, shooting the shit and doing whatever they do, and they're unemployed. And I said to my son, I said, Dre, oh, don't be taking days off, man. Well, I was sick, I didn't feel well. I said, yeah, that's just that's just pandering and obfuscating and lying. You're learning to lie from your mother. I said, well, one thing my father instilled in me was the man's job is to get up and get at it every day. My pops was up and out of the house by 6:37 a.m. every single day, ran his own business, took a half day on Sunday. Sunday was the only day that motherfucker took a half day to rest. And it drove him to the grave a little too early. Maybe it could have been anything, right? But I don't know. I think a good work ethic is important for a man. And if the wife has the benefit to be in a relationship with a man who's always getting it, always got lead in the pencil, always hard at it, then she should fulfill her end. I would think that if I don't know. I mean, I know the struggle for everyone, but I would think if the situation was reversed and I was collecting the salary every month and I was like, damn, look at all that money. Then and all my entire day was free. Both kids are teenage, going into high school, nearing completion. Then I would think, wow, like keeping this environment spick and span, perfectly clean with a delicious meal at the ready would be the front of my task. And then, I mean, as long as you're not, if you're the only one in the house all day and getting that one meal ready like AM, then I'd just be party time the rest of the day. I'd bail out or do whatever, have fun, organize shit, try to, like shave pennies and shit. I'd be sitting around shaving pennies, making extra pennies and doing all that happy horse shit. And then that, like, that 1 hour window is really the only time I'd have to have on a happy face. Put on a little lip gloss right before the old comes through the door and say, oh, your dinner's over here, if after you've had your dinner you want to chat, I'll be painting my nails or whatever. And I just play that game. And that 1 hour window is all I'd have to provide within a given day for a perfect presentation. Right. And I know it's hard. If I could nail it 3 times a week, I'd be doing better than she fucking does. If she could nail it twice a week, I think I'd be happy. But yeah, that's not gonna last forever. Once those kids are in college, it's gonna be like, wow, you had a husband, but now it looks like you're on your fucking own, motherfucker. Because Frank Monday just got on up out the way. He got on up out the way. He moved his big old happy ass out your way, bitch. And now you can get on through. You can get on out the door. Yeah, so that's the fucking reality of it, man. And believe me, I mean, I've contemplated the truth of both ends of the tally very thoroughly, and I know the score. And I've paid my pound of flesh, old trolley troll, and I've crossed the bridge. I've been across the abyss. I've done battle with the Shemha Mepharosh, the flaming ones, and they threw me down in the pit. They certainly did. And they poked me with their pitchforks as they cackled and laughed. And that's all right, because at the same time, it didn't kill my spirit. It didn't crush me. I kept a good attitude about it, and I kept my nose to the grindstone. And at the end of the day, I heard a really beautiful quote by David Bowie yesterday. I don't know how much you guys like David Bowie. He was a bit of a flamboyant girly boy and kind of a weirdo. But he said something really beautiful. It was clipped in a little YouTube short by somebody, and I think it was like I don't know, like 4 or 5 seconds long, right? But it struck me as profound because he was a very powerful lyricist, and I don't know, he had his act together. If David Bowie was my fucking housewife, I would expect, damn, I would have a dynamite experience every, you know, hour and a half to 2 hours that I come home in the evening to go to bed, right? So he said, and it'd be well worth the money. But David Bowie said, he said, it never really extends beyond the fullness of one day. I gist of it. And he said, never have really more than the fullness of one day, and you can never be sure the reverberations, the fullness of the reverberations of one day, you can never really be sure in which direction they'll go. And even though I'm not articulating it correctly, um, the message was clear. Like, uh, fuck, I wish I could remember his exact wording because it struck me as he meant that the span of waking and sleeping, right? From like the time you wake up in the morning when the magical challenge begins and you become aware that you're dreaming and you do a little dream recall and then you sit up into meditation and start to fire up the cosmic bellows of life, right? Deep breathing, and then you get up, and that first focus, whatever you decide to put your attentive energy towards, whether it be the lightning flash on the tree or the commingling of the heaven and earth energies and your place therein, that sets the standard. And you're gonna face the challenge of the great work every moment throughout every single breath of the entire day, and you really don't know which direction that those reverberations that you generate over a single day, you really don't know what fate's going to do with that necessarily, and you don't know in which direction things are going to go. You could have put everything together for the last 50 years of your life and never for a single moment slacked off, and still the pendulum could swing against you. Still the goddess of the stars, Columbia, as she dances on the zodiacal crown, could laugh at your efforts and reward you with naught. However, friends, I highly doubt that. Socrates said, a good man need never fear evil because nothing bad can happen to him. Fate can teach him the lessons of suffering, but nothing bad can truly ever to him happen to him. And a good man should know that the gods are not indifferent to his plight and they are interested in his affairs. And Socrates was a guy that's, in addition to that, said, I know this, that I know nothing. And thus, the Oracle of Delphi said he was the wisest man in all of the world at the time, which was basically just the ancient Greek world. But I go back to Socrates. I had a colleague laugh at me for quoting Socrates one time. He's like, Socrates was a vagabond and a unemployed not a what do you call him? I can't remember. He was like, wasn't Socrates basically an unemployed mooch? And I was like, good God, man. I almost slapped him in the mouth. But that's like talking shit about Lao Tzu. Like, you show me a man alive today who made as great of an impact as Socrates did 2,500 years ago. What a fool. I just gritted my teeth and bared it, though. I didn't even say anything to him. I'm like, a man who would laugh at Socrates is a man who should be publicly humiliated and hung, quartered, and drawn. No, no, no. Drawn and quartered, and then the head. No, I'm not going to go too far. You will be strung up and hung until you are dead, sir. Um, yeah, so that was I've arrived at the Willow Tree, guys, and we got like 15, 20 minutes to chit chat if you want to hang around. I appreciate y'all tuning in for the live drive. I have that one person out in the ideas room now. We got 2 thumbs up though. That means whoever did tune in, hit the thumb up. And I believe that 1 or 2 people have tuned in this morning, so that's cool. And I got lost in my rambling, my meandering. And I'll tell you the problem is I was listening to the Lex Friedman Kanye West interview last night, and it was so frustrating to listen to that man talk. Kanye West is the least articulate, most inane person I've ever listened to. And listening to Lex Friedman try to maneuver his way through the piles of horse shit that Kanye dumped on him was gruelingly difficult, and I gave up a couple of points and like fast forwarded through it and then listened to various sections. But I listened to over an hour straight and thought, God, this guy cannot maintain a single thought to completion to save his fucking life. And many times I wanted to be on his side, rallying his in his uh in his defense to help him bring his point to fruition, but he just couldn't fucking do it. And then Lex Friedman didn't offer up much convincing evidence to counter his position on his dreaded expression, the Jewish run media. And YouTube, please be aware, that is just something that's in the public sphere right now. And I'm not making any fucking commentary on it. I'm just saying that was the big thing that he needed to get on his knees and suck Howard Stern's dick or kiss. He said, what do I need to do? Get on my knees and kiss Howard Stern's dick in order to make a proper apology to you. And I thought, good God, man, can you not just even fucking mention the Bolsheviks? Right? You know, do you have to get on your knees and grovel? And then I thought about it deeply. And I thought about Lex's point, and I thought about Kanye's point, and I thought these two fucking asshats. Lex is basically a decent interviewer, but he's whining about something that had nothing to do with him because he claims a certain heritage. And Kanye himself, he makes the fucking scientific point. Didn't we all come out of Africa? Woohoo! Party time! And it's like, okay, then I can say nigger, I can say you, I could say anything I want because we're all a part of the same original first gene pool, right? But these guys' points were so kindergarten school level. Like, and Lex usually meanders off into very high level intellectual dichotomy of the unexplainable, right? And tries to get a grip on it. But when it's intangible, unexplainable, nameless, and beyond basic human conception, then constantly poking at it is kind of a futile endeavor to begin with, right? So these guys really have very little rooting in spiritual understanding or the cosmic reality that we interact with every day, but they presume upon intellectual brilliance and they're shining and drooling and you know making the big money. But that fucking fiasco of a horror show that I watched last night and listened to, and I put myself through it so that you don't have to. Good God, you will gain zero from it, and the world in general is not better off for the 2 hours of horse shit that those guys fucking bantered about. And that's the last time I'm polishing anybody's shoes because Frank Sinatra is rolling over in his grave right now, and he's like, Frank Monday, as a fellow Frank, what the fuck are you doing polishing other people's shoes when you got your own show to run, baby? Come on now. Back to the live drive jive archive. Sorry for that momentary digression into the absolute inanity of celebrity land. Hey, Callie Karen's out in the ideas room. Good to see you, Callie Karen. I hope you are doing well. Long time no see. What have you been up to out there in Sacramento? All right. I found out, Callie Karen, you are very close to where Professor Hamamoto lives. So if you haven't been over to the Professor Hamamoto channel, and he has a bit of a meandering dissertation as well, but he's really fun to listen to, and he brings all of his points to fruition. He may tease you a little and foreshadow up front, but he's an eloquent and educated doctor, doctorate level PhD guy. I don't even know if he has a PhD. He might just be a master's. Um, which is nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, 6 years at university can be grueling for anyone. You don't have to be like Frank Monday and spend 12 years at university. Um, 12 really though, because I was still internships and stuff. If you include all my interning or you could say 15. You could say I've never left school because I've been working at it in the academy since I graduated. Yeah, Callie Karen, if you're like not doing anything important, like when you jump in your car, I hope you get your car fixed. That's exciting to hear. Getting repairs done. Um, you could throw on the Lex Friedman and Kanye for the artist formerly known as Kanye West, who is now goes by Ye. Ye is being used for exposing the demons. No, man, that guy is fucking, he's so full of demons himself. Like he has all of these lecherous parasites living in his aura, manipulating him towards their own ends. That guy is not an enlightened individual. He has not received the light. He is so mired in the darkness of his self-deceit that he couldn't even focus long enough to bring not a single relevant thought or salient point to fruition. It was horrifying to see a man's mind so shattered and suffering so bad from like manic depression, schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder. I mean, that guy is in fucking big trouble. I can't imagine that he's gonna last too long. Yeah, he has to do what the good guys tell him to do. No way, man. He doesn't have to do what anybody tells him to do. He's worth $11 billion. He can just indulge himself into obscurity, into oblivion, which is where he's headed. Seen by the way he talks. Like he's embracing so many of the most divergent conspiracy theories and without any real foundation to be able to substantiate them, right? When you can't articulate even the evidences with the proper analysis to clearly express why you hold these claims, right? Then it's like you're not even securely rooted in these conspiracies that you talk about. Like he should have been able to directly point as to the reasons why he feels that way, that the UEUs are out to get him, and the UEUs are surrounding him, and the UEUs have out their trumpets, and the UEUs are clipping the foreskins, right? Um, being one third Jewish myself, it really just, I was like, bro, you got to do some homework. You got to come in with a fucking clipboard of points that you want to, and so you can stay on target. Because I know that he wants to go with the flow of now and be like, oh, I'm with the now. I'm embracing the now. Let's abolish the fake history of man and let's carpe diem. And then pissing and moaning about his ex old lady. cuckolding him. I mean, come on, how disrespectful. The guy's got no dignity left. I mean, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Celebrity hotshots are the only thing that are important to these people. They're so full of shit. But here I am again. I can feel the old Frank telling me not to do it. Um, like Poke Runyon says, the only chosen ones are those who choose to be chosen. He's become a sparkly, so I'm not gonna badger the guy too much. You know, he is what he is. I feel for him. I'd like to sit down with him and try to keep him on point. Um, there were a lot of people praised the interviewer for doing such a brilliant job, but he didn't. He didn't really do a brilliant job, not in my opinion. He felt more like a CIA handler trying to manipulate someone. He should have just at some point he should have embraced it and said, "Yeah, you're right, bro, but let's go forward from there." But he didn't even grant him. He didn't make even a single inch of. Here's how I think it went wrong. The Holocaust, who was guilty for the Holocaust, right? Was it the German people just following orders? Because I'm prone to speculate in that direction and say, yeah, it's any asshole that goes out there in society and just follows orders. They are reperpetrating the crime of suffering and tyranny over the minds of men daily. And so every day we face a similar type of battle that we need to provide the civil resistance and push back against any form of tyranny over our freedoms and liberties. Period. And I say that with the spirit of 1776 beating firmly in my breast while surrounded by one of the greatest tyrannies on earth, right? Living right in the fucking thick of it, in the very belly of the beast, and beating the drum of freedom daily to the young minds of this nation, trying to wake them up to truth, right? And sending them out into the world, that's which they are conquering. This central kingdom is conquering the known world, right? And so at least I'm waking up a few of these guys and hoping that those reverberations will carry forward and that great standard of freedom will once again rise and people will see the light in truth and that just doing your job is never enough, that you have to make a decision as as a sentient free-willed human being to say, hey, I need to overlook this mandate 99% of the time and let just about everybody slip through. And the only ones that I should card or be hard on are the the bad guys when they're around, like when the manager's around. He's like, "Ah, you're letting everybody slipping through without checking their IDs and blah blah blah." You know, and oh, that guy's we didn't give him the fifth shot, right? It's like, well, you know, maybe we don't need to. Maybe some of these things that are violating every human freedom on earth, we should not do. Well, it's your job. Well, maybe I should fucking quit this job, right? Or maybe I should do this job and then buck against everything you say 100% of the time so that freedom slips through, right? Um, and so we engage in that battle daily. And so we must not forget that it was the Stasi, it was the Gestapo, it was the Nazis, it was old Seven Kings of Switzerland, right? It was Schwabi Schwab and Soriso. And it still is them, and it still is their families. And it is these royals sitting from their thrones who must be daily pushed against and be like, no, this isn't the king's forest. This is the people's forest. We're going to cut down the trees we need and use it for firewood if we have to, right? Because we need the fuel and we need to warm our homes. And we're going to shoot occasional deers or grab a turtle. Or there goes that gal again. She's out jogging every morning right under the willow tree. Maybe she'd like to provide me with an hour and a half of entertainment each evening for the amount of salary I provide. Um, and So we can't call out the UEUs. We can't call out the Nazi Knots. We can't call out Swissy. We can't call out the Bolsheviks. We can't call out the Maos. We can't call any of these people out. No, yes, we can. And that Negro individual who believes that he's a son of the Hebrew people and just another child of Abraham, he has the right to say whatever the fuck he wants. And people shouldn't try to cancel him for that. And they shouldn't sit down with an obvious fucking basket case of mental issues and try to promote um, that he's an influencer. Really? Those are the guys who are influencing you? Wow. Sad. Yeah, that's right. You can't call him out. You calling Frank out now, Callie Karen? You are a treacherous little witch sometimes, Karen. That's why you Karens have earned such a bad name. Let me check the chat row, guys, because I love y'all sexy, good looking people out there in Happy Land. We are running low on time today. Miss Mary Moon is in the ideas room. She's got lots of good happy horse shit to talk about. She says she's gone through all that stuff and we aren't allowed to talk about it. That's right. And that's why I've given up. And like to see them sit there and talk about it on YouTube, knowing that they'll never receive a community strike, knowing that like 11, it seems like 11 or 12 million people had already watched the interview. And it's like everything in there was such fucking nonsense. And a lot of it, some of it felt like it had been clipped. Like maybe they actually sat down for 3 or 4 hours and then they cut a bunch of shit out of it. And it's like, oh, what a waste of fucking time. This is why I've given up on that entire spectrum of humanity. And then I jumped up this morning and I watched Wrangler Star, Cody over at Wrangler Star, chop firewood in his shop and fill his little wood burning stove and talk about what a man needs to do in life, right? And I thought, this is an influencer. All right. Wrangler Star is a man worthy of admiration and to be emulated. He's your regular working blue collar working class man that's getting it, right? And he's got a YouTube channel that's worth tuning in anytime, especially if you're a homesteader and especially if you're just a young man and you're looking for fatherly guidance in the world when nearly all of it's been lost to the likes of goofballs like those two fucking idiots last night. Jesus Christ, what an endeavor I put myself through to try to listen to that. And we aren't allowed to talk about it for a reason, as I will say. There's millions of bits to sort through, but it's clear at the end of the day after you look at the evidence. Yes, it's very clear. And no emotions, only logic. Lex reminds me of Data on Star Trek. Yeah, he's kind of like Data, huh? Willows have medicine, many plants do. Under the willow tree. That's right. Willows are good. They're good for the spirit. All right, guys. It looks like they cut the transmission because we touched a little too close to the fire. Um, Miss Mary Moon's last comment was very prescient, right? We aren't allowed to talk about it, and let's just not talk about it anymore. So the white elephant in the room, the, the elephant in the room is willows have medicine. They do. They have their. Are we back? Yo, yo, yo. Give me a yo out in Happy Land if you can hear me. They cut the transmission, guys, because that last little diatribe on my part was hitting a little too close to home. So whenever you're over the target, you will certainly take flack. I just want to finish and try to reiterate what I was saying there, that those of us who know um, are firm in that knowledge and know it beyond a shadow of a doubt, and there's no reason to articulate it, right? And those who do not know, it's because they do not want to know. And they will stick their heads up their ass until the end of time. Um, those classic tropes that are actually pseudo ingenuous, right? They're just false, right? Like lemmings. Lemmings don't actually run off cliffs. That was all proven to be a setup, just horse shit by scientists, right? To produce data results that they wanted for the thesis they had, for the hypothesis that they had, the hypothesis, and the idea that ostriches stick their head in the sand. Those are both urban legends that are not true. They're myths, right? They have no tangible footing in reality. Like 90% of what the science promotes is just guesswork and the flipping of coins at the end of the day. And the real reality of the waking world between sleep, waking from sleep, and returning to it again at night, returning to the gate to the realm beyond. That is the mystery. And each day we try to work through the riddles and solve the conundrums, reconcile the contradictions, and at least balance the tally. If you can do no more, balance your books before you hit the bed. You'll be better off the next day for it. All right. Keep those books balanced. Keep your nose to the grindstone. Y'all good looking sex people stay well out in happy land. I will see you on the next transmission. Until then, as above, so below, the pendulum swings yet again. And we're here to give it a little encouragement and edge it back towards the good way of things, right? Back towards the light. And with that said, let's just shoot headlong into the abodes of the future and keep doing good magic. Until next time, Side Chat.